This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 25th day of May in the year 2022. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. On the eve of Guyana's 56th independence anniversary, the government of Guyana inked the country's largest infrastructural development contract, which is valued at approximately $260 million for the construction of a new Demerara Bridge. A Chinese joint venture will be undertaking the construction. Minister of Public Works Juan Edgel today expressed gratitude to the many stakeholders and partners who he noted have worked over a span of 10 years to get the historic signing today.
We are here to sign the largest contract for a transport infrastructure project ever financed by the government of Guyana.
While the minister acknowledged that a project of this magnitude will result in some inconvenience, he called on citizens to work with the government so that the project can be completed within a 2-year period.
There is going to be some inconveniences on the land side as well as in the river, perhaps even in the air over the next 2 years, as piles are driven on the land and in the water, or as sand is transported to the work site, or as the towers are constructed to connect the cable stay section of the bridge. But at the end of the inconvenience, we will have achieved monumental progress and development.
The contract was awarded to China Railway Construction Corporation International along with China Railway Caribbean Company Limited. A total of 14 companies were competing for the contract, but in the end it was the Chinese companies that emerged as the winners for the bid. Speaking at the signing ceremony today, the ambassador of China to Guyana, Ms. Guo Haiyan, noted that China has been one of Guyana's main partners in various developmental and infrastructural projects.
China has become one of Guyana's most important trading partners. Some infrastructure projects, for example, the conference center, hotels, water plants, roads, ferries, airports, have not only added to the site of Guyana, but also served to the local economic development and people's livelihood.
And the minister responsible for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, spoke about the various development projects that are being undertaken by the government. He said with the development taking place across the country and more international companies seeking to invest, the country has got to keep building up on its infrastructure.
We are witnessing history today. And not history in the sense of a one-off isolated project, but history in the sense of a major transformative project that is part of a much larger, comprehensive plan for transforming Guyana. To put it very simply, my Guyanese brothers and sisters, the making of the modern Guyana is well underway, and the making of modern Guyana is well underway, and we, today's generation of Guyanese, are incredibly privileged not only to witness the making of modern Guyana, but to be a part of it, to be active participants, not passive spectators, but active participants and meaningful contributors, whatever we may do.
With an estimated lifespan of 100 years, the new high-rise bridge is expected to be a 4-lane hybrid project that could see an easier flow of traffic between regions 3 and 4. The length of the bridge will be about 2.65 kilometers, and the vertical height is about 50 meters from the highest water point recorded. Government officials said the latest project proves that the PP Civic Administration is keeping to its promises of major infrastructure works. More news when we return in a moment.
How fast is fiber? Think fast. GTT Fiber has 3 packages with download speeds of 50, 100, and 150 megabits per second. That's fast enough to stream movies and music, to chat with Gran and Fran, to study, and more. What would you do? Upgrade to GTT Fiber today and don't get left behind tomorrow.
With the approval of each new oil production project offshore, more jobs and opportunities are created onshore. And not just for those working in the oil and gas sector, more Guyanese are providing support services in transportation, catering, logistics, accommodation and hospitality, among many others. Oil and gas development is fueling Guyana's transformation.
27th to me, it's all about Genesis Band Lunch. Guyana National Park, I'm going to be there. Genesis Band Lunch, all my ladies, come out because it's going to be a movie. And you know when young brother Rich DJ to represent the ladies, them love when young brother is in the building. What kind of house he does in girls? It's a VIP Genesis Band Lunch. Be going and be mad.
Yo, Atlanta is a big bad city vice pushing out the GT. Don't forget the 29th May we got in Bliss launch. Yeah, Atlanta we said city vice mushy live, you know, so we're gonna do some covers like bye. Must get a thing, must get a thing. How we out a GT. All of the guys them a wine and shake them. Guyanese woman them a number one. Yo, flashback we said. Bliss launch 29th May. Atlanta city vice mushy live. Keep my name out your mouth.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Let's tell you now that the local telecommunications company GTT has signed a new agreement with the Guyana Postal and Telecommunication Workers Union that will see its employees benefiting from salary increases over the next 2 years. Under the agreement, all union members will receive an immediate 2% salary increase effective February 2022, which will be on top of the 6% that was awarded in October of last year. In January of next year, the members are set to receive a further 6%, subject to an additional review depending on inflation levels. The company has also made commitments to reward additional increases based on company and individual performance levels. The CEO of GTT, Damian Blackburn, indicated that major investments in comprehensive fiber skills training for technicians would lead to the overall development of individuals and the company, and promotions for persons who successfully complete the program. He said he sees the move as a key foundation building block in the delivery of the 2025 vision to improve life experiences to every home and business across Guyana. The CEO also lauded the relationship that exists with the union and said he looks forward to the continued engagement. He said as a company, GTT is thrilled to share a good relationship with the union, and he has made it a top priority to ensure that a comprehensive review of earnings, upskilling, and incentive-based promotion schemes for the employees with a clear and transparent progression pathway for apprentices through senior technicians. President of the union, Harold Shepard, described the event as the culmination of successful negotiations with the CEO, adding that over the last year, for the first time in recent history, the union has been able to address the backlog of issues that they have brought to the company. Minister of Labor Joseph Hamilton, who attended the signing of the agreement, praised the relationship between the union and the GTT. Days after teachers housed in the Ministry of Education living quarters highlighted their poor living conditions on social media in Kukwani, the Ministry of Education has announced that the concerns will be addressed by education officers in Region 10. The teachers who have been transferred to the Kukwani area complained of their bat-infested living quarters, with the rotting ceiling, old pieces of furniture, and doors that are not properly secured. The Education Minister Priya Manikchan today said she has been made aware of the issue following the social media post, and she has asked for it to be addressed immediately by officials in Region 10. Madam Chen said before the social media post she was unaware of the situation at the living quarters in the Kakwani sub-district.
Education, while whenever you think of it, you think of Minister of Education, is actually something that is decentralized. So responsibility for the teachers' quarters in Kakwani fall under the Region 10 administration. Having said that, we are one government. We have one strong view that our service providers must be as comfortable as possible. I would say that we, with confidence, that no minister in this government would knowingly let teachers live in poor conditions.
Some teachers have complained about being victimized by officials whenever they raise their concerns.
I do not think any of these teachers was at fault or in any way to be ridiculed because they brought this to our attention. In fact, most teachers in this country have my phone number for that very reason. It is something we're going to address, but like I said, from a regional perspective, because that's where the money is for fixing things like that.
In the past, some teachers have refused to take up appointments in many of the locations in the interior regions, owing to the condition of their living quarters. A 6-month training program to strengthen Guyanese port security and container control ended today, with 14 graduates from the Guyana Police Force, the Guyana Revenue Authority, KANU, MARAD, and the Guyana Defense Force Coast Guard. Funding for the training was provided through the Department of State's Office of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement, in collaboration with the UN Office of Drugs and Crimes Container Control Program and the World Customs Organization. The training program provided the tools to strengthen container security protocols and increase knowledge of narcotic smuggling typologies. One of the participants to the techniques learned throughout the training will be introduced into the current container inspection protocols. The training program is part of the ongoing commitment by the U.S. to combat crime and hence Guyanese law enforcement professionalization and improve regional security. The CARICOM Secretary General, Dr. Carla Barnett, is congratulating Guyana on the occasion of the country's 56th anniversary of independence. In a message to the President and the nation, the CARICOM Secretary General said she would like to congratulate the government and people of Guyana on the independence anniversary. She noted an original signatory to the Treaty of Chaguaramas, Guyana also serves as a host country to the headquarters of the Caribbean Community Secretariat, an indication of its long-standing and firm commitment to regional integration. She said President Irfan Ali, as the CARICOM head of government with responsibility for agriculture, has propelled the sector into an exciting new era. She noted the successful recent Agri-Investment Forum and Expo, which was hosted in Guyana, as just one of the examples of the dynamism injected into the sector. The Guyana National Bureau of Standards seized more than 150 unapproved dial scales during weights and measure surveillance visits at more than 1,000 shops and retail outlets on the East Bank and East Coast of the Marara and areas in Regions 2 and 6. In a statement, the GNBS said its inspectors continued to encounter the widespread use of the blue dial scales, despite numerous warnings by the GNBS to vendors and shopkeepers to desist from using the domestic scales in commercial trade. Meanwhile, during an operation in the quarantine area, GNBS inspectors seized more than 107 cartons of cigarettes that do not meet the requirements of the national standard under the labeling of tobacco products and tobacco control regulation of 2018. During the exercises, GNBS inspectors confiscated several brands of cigarettes which were not labeled in English, while other packages did not include a pictorial warning as required by the tobacco control regulation. The Guyana National Bureau of Standards warned that its inspectors will continue their surveillance exercises across the country to remove substandard products and unapproved and unverified measuring instruments from retail trade to protect the consumers.
Have you heard the news?
The CPL is back.
Done! Yes!
The finals coming to Guyana.
Absolutely brilliant.
It's going to be a carnival of cricket.
It's going to be a carnival of cricket.
It's going to be a carnival of cricket.
See you there.
tell it to your friend. Watch Guyanese girl, them a hurtle, and them a do it in a circle. Watch me, missing each and every year. Flashback come again. Tell it to your enemy and tell it to your friend. Well, if you're ready for the party, yeah then. Flashback, tell them a the trend. Pala missing. This are not talking about a fly nor no bees. No girl can whine like Guyanese. Watch the girl, them a do it in a circle. Guyanese girls, them a dance in a circle. Hear me and say, no, I'm a banter. You know, I some boy killer represent the Golden Smile family. You know, say flashback, old school party. You know, say, oh, the vibes is plenty. Slow down. Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, Brazil's leftist presidential frontrunner and former president Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva quietly dispatches emissary Senator Jack Warner to meet with U.S. State Department officials in Washington in April, according to people familiar with the matter. Wagner's private meeting with U.S. officials, which has not been reported before, is part of an effort by Lula and the U.S. to overcome lingering wariness of each other ahead of October's elections. Polls show Lula on track to beat far-right President Jair Bolsonaro. Wagner, a former defense minister and ex-governor of the Bahia state, did not respond to requests for a comment. The State Department has also declined to comment. The unannounced nature of Wagner's Washington trip underlines the skepticism of Lula and other Latin American leftists towards the U.S. government. It also contrasts with Lula's own high-profile tour of Europe back in November. Two Jamaicans who reportedly acted as money couriers in a sophisticated international scam that laundered more than $6 million in drug trafficking proceeds from Colombian cartels are to be extradited to the U.S., while a third Jamaican implicated in the scheme was arrested. All three were arrested on Tuesday. Two of them waived their rights to an extradition hearing when they appeared in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court. They have all been indicted in the U.S. on charges of laundering of money instruments and aiding and abetting. The Jamaicans are among 19 people who have so far been hit with a range of criminal charges for their alleged involvement in the scheme, which had been under investigation since 2016 by law enforcement in Jamaica, the U.S., and Colombia. And finally tonight, international news. North Korea fired 3 ballistic missiles early this morning, South Korea's military has announced. Authorities in Seoul said the missiles were fired in the space of less than an hour from the Sunan area in Pyongyang. It comes just a day after U.S. President Joe Biden left the region, following a trip that saw him vowing to bolster measures to deter North Korea. North Korea has been test firing a flurry of ballistic missiles since the beginning of this year. Japan confirmed at least 2 launches happened on Wednesday, but acknowledged there may have been more. In a meeting convened after the missile launch, South Korea's National Security Council called the test a grave provocation, the presidential office in South Korea said. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, wishing you a pleasant and safe evening and a happy independence. Stay safe.